Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from section 3 and today we will discuss about Foundry, and the design that we choose is panah for our casting process. So for the first step, we put the spanner in the Foundry flask. Okay. The next step is we put the separating powder to the spanner. This is to make sure the part not stick with the sand. Okay. The next step is we fill the Foundry flask with molding sand, and we use rammer to press the molding sand and scrape off any excess using scraper. Okay. Step 5 is we turn the flask upside down and place the screw and the riser. The next step is we fill the Foundry flask with molding sand and we remove the screw and riser. And then we press the sand using rammer, just like step 4. Okay. Next step is we remove the spanner. During this process, we need to be careful when removing the spanner because it could affect the final product. Step 8 is we lock the Foundry flask, and the next step is we melt the metal casting in a crucible. Okay, step 10 is we pour the molten metal into the Foundry flask. We also should be careful when pour the molten metal to avoid the metal spilling. And the final step is we wait until the metal cool and take out the product from the Foundry flask by removing the molding sand.
Okay, thank you, Najib, for explaining the procedure. So I will proceed with the finishing process. After we've done casting, we must make sure that object is clean of any molding material. Secondly, we must remove rough edges by cutting the sprue away from parts. We must make sure that there is no excessive metal that's still intact with the cast object. Thirdly, get rid of sharp corners and bevel edges to make it more clean and neat. Same as the fourth part, smoothing the part surface by using sandpaper. Lastly, we must clean all the tools and arrange the tools to the suitable place. Noted that the tools that we use is hard, so we must take time around 20 minutes to cool the apparatus. That's all from me.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nik Nafis. I'm from section 3. Today I'm going to talk about safety precautions when to do casting. Firstly, we need to use gloves, leather shoes and safety goggles with side shields when do the casting. The glove is when we put the metal aluminium mold into the pattern because it is hot and we need to handle it with caution. Secondly, we always use clean metal as feedstock, as recycled metal may have toxic. And lastly and thirdly, metal added to heat must be free of impurities and must be free of moisture and impurities to prevent explosion. Lastly, stand by a stock and pile of sand so that when the metal spills to the ground or working table, we can cause a fire, we can pull it out.